Good evening, this is Tannenberg, Human, and welcome to this AI Battle Royale in Medieval 2 Total War. And today we have selected the Eastern European factions to take part in this all-infantry affair with a small budget of only 3,000 denarii. Now I have picked out their stronger infantry in general, all from the late era, but I've tried to give some variety to the selections too. So first up of our Eastern European factions are the Polish, with dismounted Polish knights, spearmen, and one very cheap unit of woodsmen to fill out the force. Second up are the Russians, with 3 units of dismounted boyar sons, a couple birdish axemen, and finally another set of the wonderful woodsmen. Third, we have the Hungarians, with 2 units of dismounted chivalric knights, Pavese spearmen, battlefield assassins, Transylvanian peasants, and some Croat axemen. A wonderful variety of units there. Now technically they're the 3 Eastern Europeans, but I am going to throw in one fourth faction, which is Denmark, in part because the game only allows 4 teams of battle, and so there would be too many Northern Europeans. So in they come to Eastern Europe with the Obdershire, who are rather lovely, the Norse axemen, and some Norse swordsmen as well. Of course, do cheer on your faction in the comments below. For now though, I think it's time to head on into battle. Technically, this is the Battle of Tannenberg map. It's pretty even, a bit of forest if people want to hide, such as the battlefield assassins. But it certainly looks like there's a bit of a fray going on immediately between Poland and Denmark. Okay, lads, let's head on in. We've got Norse swordsmen against Polish spearmen. Well, I'm not sure the spearmen are going to fare too well here, lads, but we'll see how it goes. Lovely stuff. The spearmen are half down now. They are wavering, but the Hungarians are going to come in to attack. The Russians are just holding back here, but the Polish knights are charging in just as the Hungarians arrive, and there are the Transylvanian peasants. I love this unit. They're just a little bit crazy, but in they come, and they're going to do some damage. I mean, they've got some big chopping power on them, and the Polish, oh yeah, they're not happy with this. Looks like the spearmen are routing, but the dismounted knights here are... Alright, they're turning back around. They know what they're doing now. They're facing both units at once, it seems, but the Hungarians are probably going to get caught up with the Danes. Indeed, they are. What have we got over here? We've got Pavese spearmen against the Obdershire. Now, these guys can be very effective, but they don't look like they're in the brace position right now, so they might not be as effective as you may hope. As for the Russians, it looks like they've joined the battle as well. This is just chaos. Ahoy today. Chivalric knights taking on the birdish axemen. The birdish axemen, let's have a quick look at them, because they are chunky guys. Yeah, look at that. Effective against armour, 17 attack. They are going to chop through chivalric knights, I suspect, although they could lose out just from their lack of armour. Russians are routing kind of all sorts of units. I mean, there are Hungarians here, there are Danes chasing after them, but they're being chased by the boyar sons. That's interesting. We've got more boyar sons over here taking on what remains of the Polish, mostly spearmen and some sensible Polish knights who are hiding over in the back here. Now, I haven't seen the Hungarian battlefield assassins, which kind of makes sense because they're sneaky. Let's go find them. I genuinely can't find the battlefield assassins, which is kind of amusing. These Croat axemen are fleeing, but it's just leading routing men. Amazing! I was going to say it's leading routing men towards their own guys who were going to rout with them, but no, the Danes have gone. With this, the North swordsmen are charging on in. At this stage, well, I don't know. It's just like little battles going on everywhere. There's a bit of Polish and Hungarians over there. There's some Danes and some Russians over in this part of the world. And you'd expect the North swordsmen to do a pretty good job. I don't know, maybe I'm biased towards the Danes. I do quite like the Danish lads. But they're pretty divided right now. I'm not sure it's going to work in their favour if they're this split up. The Russians look like they're in quite a good position, he says. But their woodsmen have not managed to chunk for the Polish knights. That's not the best battle for them. Let's be confident about that. So more and more chunking going on in this part of the world. It's going to be a slow old affair. But these boyar sons are... yeah, they're making some dents on these guys. Well, the Hungarians are clearing out those Danes, and they've got a massive surround. The Hungarians are probably the most united of all the forces right now, getting lots of their men together and, yeah, flanking the Danes. The Danes are badly positioned, and I think they are going to fall apart as it happens. Polish are not looking good either, considering they're the faction I'm officially in charge of. We'll get these guys back into AI control and run into battle, guys. We need to see what else can happen. But yeah, my money's on Hungary right now, but the Russians are still fighting pretty darn hard here. If you want the overview of the battle, we can mainly see, yeah, weak Danes coming back into battle. There are some routing Hungarians. Oh yeah, actually Hungary are starting to fall apart as they hit the Russians here. This is not looking good for them. Badish Axemen are chunking through. Oh, magnificent stuff. The Chivalric Knights should hold them for a little while. But yeah, sheer numbers. There's another 81 back there. That's not looking good for them. Poles holding steadfast back here. But I think it's a battle they're going to lose eventually. This is just madness. It's a rout for the Hungarians here, a rout for the Russians here. And the Polish are just the only ones who seem to be holding very much the underdogs. But the Woodsmen are coming in. They might just be able to turn this around yet. The Boyarsons are wavering as they arrive, and indeed they've got the rout back here. Poland, and right behind them the Polish are now routing. But that's it, look. Russia are broken in a matter of seconds. Wow, it was the Woodsmen there. The Woodsmen broke the entire Russian army instantaneously. And now it just comes down to Hungary versus Poland. The Danes seem to have long since fled. Still haven't found the battlefield assassins, so unless they were slaughtered instantaneously, I don't even know where they are. I found the assassins. I think they were busy chasing someone off the field all this time. Lads, you need to get in there. It's one big chunky affair between Poland and Hungary. Put your bets away now, because this is it. And I think Poland, depends on those assassins, they arrive in time. Poland right now seem to have 81 Polish knights. They seem to have the numbers. Oh, they've actually broken the Polish. I'm surprised about that. And it certainly looks like it's going to be a big collapse now with the assassins coming in to finish the job. You weren't expecting that, were you, laddie? And it can only be a matter of time now for the Polish. Indeed it is. These guys are back in the game. Just perfect moment there to not technically lose the battle, but I think this is Hungary's now. It's time for the final foray, and there's not a lot of Poles left. There are slightly more of the Hungarians and more units as well. You think that they've surely got this, but you never know. We could see some kind of crazy turnaround here for the Poles. Come on, you've held so well in this battle. Can you hold one more charge? The answer seems to be no. This is the problem with having the Woodsmen. The Hungarians do have some random units themselves, but they're just holding together that little bit more. Steady, wavering. Oh my, this is close. Very close. These Croat Axemen are not good on the old defence, and the Polish Knights should, you think, get through them. Yeah, they've broken them. This is coming down to the wire. Look at this bar. It's so close, but there's a rout. Wavering. They're down to the very last. Oh, let's just turn this down here. Chivalric Knights 24 versus, oh, just a little bit more. And there's victory for the Poles. What a closely fought affair that was. This was as Battle Royale can certainly get. And what a close victory for the Poles there. But they held steady. They held their forces together, and ultimately that was the main difference here. At the end of that epic encounter then, we saw Captain John of the Danes, the fake Eastern Europeans, kicked out first, although they still gave quite a few kills for their men lost. Indeed, it's a pretty even number for all the factions here, with the Hungarians being pretty much the most even, although 203 prisoners. They possibly spent too much of their stamina chasing people down. Maybe that just made the difference for the Poles in the end. Certainly these two factions kept their men close together more than the rest. And, well, it was a worthy victory for Poland, but to be honest, it was a good old ding-dong of a battle, and fair play to them all. I hope that your faction did themselves proud, but yes, Poles will claim themselves victory today. Do let me know if you have any other suggestions for Battle Royale scenarios, but for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas, this is Nerdist to Human, and this has been Battle Royale on Medieval 2 Total War. Thank you, and bye-bye. Today we're going to go for particularly aggressive diplomacy. Oh yes, it worked. Kablamo! You were always going to die, Steve. Oh! My feudal knights! My crispy, crispy feudal knights. The ram's burning. Right at the death.